Impact Wrestling Under Siege is this evening on Impact Plus. There are 9 mega matches made for you. So without further ado, let's give those SCW predictions and some matches I'm really looking forward to, including this first one I'm going to talk about now, the X Division Championship. Impact Wrestling's Josh Alexander and champion taking on the challenger from New Japan Pro Wrestling, El Phantasmo. And what a superb talent El Phantasmo is. He's shown already in Impact in a couple of matches he's had what a great talent he is. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what this can bring put together with these two in the ring. I'm expecting it to actually steal the show. I think it'll be match of the night, perhaps even a match of the year candidate. But I do have some slight concerns here. It gives me a bit of discussion point because Josh Alexander only won this belt a few weeks ago, and so far every time an outsider's come into Impact, on the first opportunity they've been given, they have won the Impact Championship. FinJuice, also from New Japan Pro Wrestling, winning those tag team championships, and Kenny Omega, of course, winning the Impact World Championship. So will it happen again? Will it be 3 championships out of 3? Let's not forget Deonna Purrazzo is going to go in the title versus title match for Triple Mania later this year. So could all of Impact Wrestling superstars not hold any championships? That would be unprecedented. My only fear with it, although it could be in a way an interesting storyline and seeing a bit of redemption from Impact Wrestling, I feel it makes the roster look pretty weak. I wouldn't mind if it happened if these superstars win it on the 2nd or 3rd attempt, but give your roster something, in my opinion. So I'm a bit fearful as well at the same time. This could come with a little bit of a negative feedback, if you want, from me, if El Phantasmo does win this match. I think it can go either way, but for me, I'm an Impact fan. I want to see Josh Alexander as X Division champion. I'm going to go for Josh Alexander to retain the Goldie because I think he needs it. I think Impact needs it. I think personally for me, we don't need at this point another superstar from another company holding one of their championships. But what I will say on the plus side, I'm so happy to see El Phantasmo in Impact Wrestling and doing some great stuff in the ring, because that part of the Forbidden Door I do enjoy seeing. I do like seeing these dream matches, and he's a great talent, El Phantasmo. I don't get to see enough New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I'm very grateful to get the opportunity to see more of him here. I mentioned the Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo. She will be defeating Havok on this particular show. I'm not going to spend too long on this match. Deonna Purrazzo, like I said, she's going to defend this championship at Triple Mania later this year. I don't see her losing the belt then, at least until that date. Havok should be an interesting opponent, a completely different dynamic to a lot of Deonna Purrazzo's matches. I don't see Deonna winning with the Queen's Gambit, but certainly we could see the Fujiwara armbar make its return in for Deonna to pick up the victory. Let's talk about the Knockouts Tag Team Championships next down. I'm looking forward to this match. I think Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering are a fantastic team. I like what they're bringing to the table. I really think as well they could be the team that really makes these championships one of the main reasons to watch Impact Wrestling. I really have high expectation with them two together. Jordynne Grace as well recently re-signed with the company as well, so good to see that this will be for the long term, not for the short term. Fire and Flava were great inaugural champions, and they do such great work in Impact Wrestling together, but I think it's time for a change of the guard here. I think it's good to see another team go for these belts next. Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering will be my winners on this evening. But it isn't the only Knockouts Tag Team Championship match taking place on the show. Kimberly and Susan will be taking on the duo of Taylor White and Tennille Dashwood, the odd couple if you want. I kind of like this. It depends how Impact wants to go really with this. Do they want to go with the thrown together oddball team, or do they want to go with an established heel team? I personally prefer the natural dynamic of face versus heel. I like to see Kimberly and Susan get the next shot at the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wilde and Dashwood were to pick up the victory here. So Head says Wilde and Dashwood, Heart says Lee and Susan. I think it will be Taylor Wilde and Tennille Dashwood picking up the victory, and I do think they'll probably have a go at going for these championships and probably later on going off in a feud. Of course, Taylor Wilde only recently made her re-debut to the company. She actually returned at Rebellion. Another superstar that actually made his debut at Rebellion was w.morrissey. He'll be taking on Willie Mack here. W.morrissey has been unapologetic, bitter, and dominant since coming into Impact Wrestling, and I expect the same here. I think Willie Mack, a great superstar in his own right, he's going to get dominated here. Morrissey will be picking up the victory. I expect big things for W.morrissey, perhaps even a main event push some point later in the year. Looking through quickly, we've got Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. I think this could be a good match. I'm a big fan of Black Taurus. I like what he brings to the table. But Brian Myers here seems to be the more pushed of the two superstars. So I expect Myers to pick up the victory, the most professional wrestler, to continue to be on a roll. He's having a good time so far in Impact Wrestling. I'm enjoying his run with the company. We've got the Impact Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders match. We've got a Fatal 4-Way. Wouldn't be surprised if this kicks off the night, actually. And it's interesting as well. It means the Good Brothers won't be going for FinJuice after this. We'll be getting a new team after FinJuice next. The 4 teams involved: Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. We've got TJP and PT Williams. We've got Triple XL, and we've got Rohit Raju and Shira. This should be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm surprised TJP isn't with Flava, but maybe I'm out of touch with what's going on with that, why they've not reunited here. PT Williams has come back and they should make a fun tag team. But looking at who FinJuice could face, there's one team that stands out as a match I want to see more than the rest, and perhaps it would take place against all odds, and that's Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. You're probably used to me when I make a lot of these Impact predictions. I rarely bet against Ace Austin. I see him as the real future of Impact Wrestling. I think we've got a start in the making with him here, and I do feel with these two as a duo against FinJuice, that's a match I want to see, so I'm going to go for them to pick up the victory and become the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships. Well, let's go for the big matches then, the 2 main event matches. First off then, let's go for the 6-man match. They mentioned FinJuice just a second ago. Well, FinJuice will be teaming with Eddie Edwards, of course, Mr. Impact Wrestling himself. Of course, he's been, with Impact for many, many years now, against Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Now, I like what this match represents on paper. I just wish it had more time to actually deliver that message to us at home, because I think if this had been built for longer, I think Rebellion was just a couple of weeks ago. If this Under Siege show was another 2 or 3 weeks down the line, I think this story could have been told more perfectly. But in my opinion, for what it represents, I still quite like it. Kenny Omega, of course, is the Impact World Champion. Not really been shown any respect for that championship. It's not really been going on Dynamite. When it did, it was with Michael Nakazawa on his arms, not even on Kenny's waist. That actually, I think, prompted Bully Ray to actually make a comment on Busted Radio saying he's not happy with the way that Kenny Omega treats the Impact Championship. That disrespect, kind of what Kenny Omega is looking to do here. And of course, the Good Brothers, they are the anti for Impact Wrestling of what the Forbidden Door represents. They're spending more time on Dynamite than they are really with Impact. And of course, Don Callis, the Invisible Hand, well, I mean, where does his allegiances lie? It looks to be with Kenny Omega, which is more on the AEW side than actually protecting his own investment as an executive of Impact. We look on the other side of the table, FinJuice. Yes, they're from New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they have been representing for Impact. They've defended those titles in New Japan. They've been carrying those championships proud on their shoulders. They've been as well in Impact on any given opportunity. They had to go to New Japan for a little while between Sacrifice and Rebellion, but since Rebellion, they've stayed put. They've been on the shows every single week. Kenny Omega didn't even want to have his championship celebration in Impact. He wanted to do it via Zoom call. Complete disrespect to Impact. So from that, what it represents, I like the match, and I do wonder if a long-term build here could be started, a placeholder for Eddie Edwards and Kenny Omega, because we know we've got a #1 contenders match. I'll be discussing that next. That'll be actually to do with what's going to probably be against all odds. I wonder if Kenny Omega and Eddie Edwards could be the direction for Slammiversary. I wouldn't be surprised. From this one, I couldn't be surprised if the result went either way either. I mean, if Carl Anderson took the pinfall and the babyfaces got the victory, that would be great to see. But as a prediction, I can't go against Kenny Omega at this particular time. I just think he just seemed to be on another level. Him and the Good Brothers together, they're a dominant force. I think they'll pick up the victory here, but if the babyfaces do win, I expect Carl Anderson to be the one that takes the pinfall. Well, Kenny Omega needs a new #1 contender. Like I say, that is actually what my main event of the show here, the 6-way match that we've got. And of course, I think the match will be against all odds. We've got Chris Sabin, Chris Bay, Sami Callihan, Mack Cardona, Trey, Miguel, and Moose. All apart from Sabin and Cardona, I'd be quite happy to see take on Kenny Omega, to be honest. I think Chris Bay would be an amazing athlete to be in there. Same with Trey Miguel, although I wouldn't see either of them picking up the victory. But they're 2 future stars, if you want. So it'd be great to see them in that position. But I think this, if we're going to boil it down, comes down to the more established stars in Impact Wrestling, the ones that have been there for a while. Yes, Sabin has been there for a while, on and off, but I just don't see him winning. I think it comes down between Sami Callihan and Moose. And Moose is a very interesting dynamic when it comes to this, because Moose's contract, I believe, is coming up very shortly in Impact. I'm not sure if he's re-signing with the company or not. So if they are going to pull the trigger and have this Moose Omega match, which I think a lot of people want, now is the time to do it. But they have been actually teasing Sami Callihan in this role on Impact Wrestling Weekly TV as well. So I think it's one of these two, but I'm going to go for Moose, because if Moose is going to be the guy, I mean, I hope he resigns with the company, but if he is due to leave the company, I think this would be the time to do the match between them two against all odds, and probably it could be title versus career. That's certainly how I would book it in a fantasy booking kind of kind of way, if you like. But this should be a fantastic match. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a great 6-way, and definitely is one of the big talking points of Under Siege. The only thing I would say is I wish there was a bit more desperation to get this belt from Kenny Omega, more desperation from Impact to win the World Championship back, not just let's qualify for a 6-way. I would like to have seen invasions on Dynamite and you know, just try and attack Kenny Omega at all odds. Maybe we'll get that after we get a new #1 contender, but as a company, Impact, they should be fuming. They should be fuming the fact that Omega's the champion. They should be fuming with Rich Swann that he's actually let the championship go to another company. But it is nice to see that so many guys want to win this championship back, and I think Moose will be the first one in line. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed Under Siege this evening. Just to let you know, I will be live later today for Backlash 2016. That's right, a retro review. SCW Rewind returns. It will be live. I'll be joined by Rated R for Wrestling and Non-Stop Wrestling Chat, two very talented YouTubers. Come and join the conversation. Give your memories of the show as well. And yeah, listen to us discuss about Backlash. Should be a lot of fun, especially as most of those superstars are still within WWE, but of course Mack Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, is also featured on that show, and Heath as well. Even though he's not around in Impact at the second, he was also on this show. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great one. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube.